So John, let me throw this out at you because you've been. It seems I don't want to use the word entrenched. That's not right. But you've worked around politicians here in D.C., locally in Richmond, for it seems like your whole adult life. So you have a good sense of the party, right? The GOP. Are their goals as a party, are they in line with Trump's MAGA vision, or is there a split? Because I feel like when Vivek Ramaswamy did his, Twitter screed about H-1B visas and cultural differences, that suddenly there was this big fraction that was now noticeable within the GOP. So is the party in alignment with Trump's vision, or has I don't know, has the party become the party of Trump?
Yeah. I think I've got two answers to that. If these jerks would actually do what they say they're going to do when they run, then there would be total alignment. I think, I'm glad George W. Bush was president, but let's be honest, when he got in there, into office twice, there were a lot of missed opportunities to actually accomplish what he wanted. Then you fast forward to the Trump era, and what was one of the number one things for 10 years, Republicans said, we're going to get rid of Obamacare. We're going to fix this situation. We're going to, let the free market adjust here without the bastardization of the system that comes from federal money. And then when push came to shove, they didn't do it. And it's kind of humiliating to those of us who are, not elected officials, who are just constantly supporting the Republican Party, that when they get power and presumably have some sort of mandate, at least from the people who want them to be there, they drop the ball and make up all these excuses. So I do think that if Trump and team follow through as they have so far in week one, not even the first 5 days, that he's going to be in a good position and he will continue to maintain a lot of support. I mean, the second issue is that once you start dealing with the reality of how to execute on this stuff, you're going to have people peel away who are distressed about one issue or another. I mean, the H-1B visas, like I was saying, 20 years ago, that was a point of contention, and it didn't surprise me when that continued to be a point of contention. I don't know how that plays out. I personally think that we're probably going to need to siphon off the number of people who come into the country from outside, have our economy adjust again with real prices based on the actual workforce of America, and stop creating this kind of weird alternative economy that's out there. But that may be a hard sell too, because that's. But
won't those probably two questions? I mean, yeah. When you say the real prices, I mean, I read that, and by the way, I agree with you, but I read that as inflationary, right? It'll be higher prices, because if we have to pay Americans to do this work, and we have fewer workers, we're going to have a labor shortage, and Americans can and should get more than migrants do. And then the other question,
maybe.
But inflation helps bring down Biden, right? I mean, Trump's got to be afraid of inflation, and then. Yeah. He's got to be. And then the other thing is, what about the fact that our fertility crisis in this country, right? The fertility rate is between 1.67 and 1.7. You need about 2.1 just to keep population even. We should be more than that if we want to have a GDP that keeps going up. Short of miracles like a new internet or something, we don't have enough people here in the United States to do all the work. It's not. I never bought the whole idea like you can't get Americans to do these like manual jobs. I never believed that. You just have to pay them. But but we don't have actual. If the population shrinks, we risk going down the path of Japan in the 90s and the 2000s.
Yeah. Culturally and politically, we've incentivized everything that heads towards our demise. I mean, really, we've created I'm 54, so I don't know where that places me with your audience, but my perspective is that I look at my friends who are in their 20s and 30s, and they're not married. They're really kind of holding out. We've convinced a lot of women, oh my God, I don't want to bring a child into this society and this world. It's so horrible and so violent.
We're stuck.
I don't think we have to be. And
we can't be like, I was reading yesterday, a great article in the New York Times about being stuck. And it was like, people are holding on to their cars longer than ever because new cars are so expensive and the interest rates are so high. I remember when car loans were basically free. Yeah. It's like I'm driving around a 2015 Accord, so I feel that. It's like the people aren't moving.
2017. I'm right there with you.
People are great car, but still, people starting to do funny things in the cold weather. The car, the people are staying in their houses because they can't sell, they can't buy. Where there's not enough, even though the unemployment rate is low, there's not like really a lot of availability. There's not a lot of hiring going on. It's very anemic, and that's, I think, really kind of behind part of the reason that Democrats didn't get a re-up, right? I mean, there were a lot of other reasons too.
Well, you make a key point about unemployment being low. But I tell you, this is where Trump was brilliant in the first 4 years. I don't think people gave him credit. And I saw it firsthand when I went to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. And they've got a mixed record when it comes to immigration and everything. I don't think they're big Trump fans. But Trump told all of the CEO class, the people who are investing, the people who are expanding, building businesses, and some of the people like me who don't have a lot of money at their fingertips, you can build, you can grow. We're not going to be nitpicking you and regulating you nonstop. Like, you make a plan, you've got a 5-year plan, you got a 10-year plan, you invest, I don't know, $10 million, $100 million in a new facility. You got to have confidence that you're going to make that money back. And Trump sent the signal that he was not going to allow the federal bureaucracy and the regulators to hassle these people where they would lose their investment. Biden, on the other hand, oh no, they were hyper aggressive the last 4 years. And I think Trump will come back and say, and hopefully it'll be more than just 4 years this time, we're going to let you grow. We're going to let you use your money to grow. And that traditionally, historically, has brought more jobs. I think that was the success of Trump. Look, we hadn't had COVID and all the horrible riots, which I still think were orchestrated and contrived. I mean, here in Richmond, they burned half the city for 100 nights and no one did anything about it.
Wow.
That did not happen on its own. I don't think that was an organic situation. If those two things had not occurred in 2020, if you rewind before COVID, I think people, even though he was hated by the same people who hate him today, the average person said, I kind of like this situation. I wish he wouldn't tweet as much. I heard that a million times, but they liked the economy. And then COVID and the overreaction to COVID, which is a whole nother debate, right? We could do 3 hours on that. But
oh, yeah.